Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another dispatch. I am not in the studio. I am in my house, and it's not Sunday. It's Friday. I'm teaching a workshop on Sunday. Excuse me. But I wanted to finish up that essay on the piece on Bonnard from Christopher Neve from last week. So I'm going to do that and then send this out probably on Sunday. I've been told you can schedule these things, so I'm gonna see if I can do that. I'm sure I can do that. Okay, we're gonna pick up from where we left off. Now we're visiting Bonnard. He's older. He's old. Now Bonnard's elderly maid Louise opens the door to you. She wears a starched apron and is bursting with laughter. Her plump hands are folded on her stomach. You are to come in, Mr. Brazai, whose photographs Monsieur Bonnard much admires, was here yesterday, and Monsieur Bonnard hardly said a word to him, would not let him take a photograph except of his back view. Was most reserved, in fact. But he will like to see you. He is painting in the dining room. You are to go through. So this is how things stand at the Villa La Bosquet as Bonnard's last summer is coming to an end. Before I go on, I will try to remind you of the color of his paintings without using any colored adjectives. I have a reason. Two children and some women in a boat. A closed-up house among trees. Flowers in a field with a distant church. Marta washing herself with a sponge. A bowl of peaches. A new hat with a big bow on it. Marta in a bedroom in the afternoon. Some boats at low tide. Some goats in a distant village. Some pots on a terrace with distant mountains. A beach and some bathers. A jug of poppies. A road sloping downhill between buildings. A hot afternoon on a lawn. A steam yacht and evening sky. The Mediterranean. A wicker chair with a cat near it. Someone who once played the piano in a room. Speckled wallpaper. Now think of the drawings for these. They are on scraps of paper, on the pages of a diary, in little notebooks, and on paper bags, done often as not with a fuzz of round hatching or swarms of dots, with a bluntish pencil. Long ago, in the old days of the nobbies, they used to be formal, these drawings, like little posters. But for a long time now, they have become the beautiful, warm, incidental accompaniment to the pleasures of life. Ways of putting a line round the shade of trees, the smell of books, the impress of letters on a table. The line does not have to define these things. It just hatches the soft shadow of where they are. The hum left in the air by an open window. A pile of fruit. A row of beach tents and a strip of sand so that they can be referred to later. They are reminders on soft paper of what it felt like to see them rather than a map of their two particular attributes. Their personalities rather than their appearances. And it is a wonderful thing to watch this affectionate scribbled record of the world accruing quite quickly and with such humanity on the disaffected page. The pencil lands on it and jots it wonderfully down in case such a small and transient episode as the edge of a table, a row of trees, standing on their shadows, or an evening sky after a spring day outside Paris in the Ile-de-France should somehow get away, or a barge go past the Quai de Montebello unobserved. Rolls of shadow, smudges, and blinks of light, and a few figures on a road are of consequence in a quick drawing, after all, without any telling why. This is what Bonnard does by looking around him, by looking with the pencil moving. Not that it has to be complete. It is something continual, a process. The soft pencil moving, much as the gardener moves the hoe, keeping chaos at bay. On the page, the faint smoke of dark and light makes sense, and the little memories add up. All that may be the pretext, but it is decidedly not the event, the plot, but not the story. You go in. It is the dining room, remember? The room is empty, nobody in it. The table has been pushed aside against the wall, and it has colors and brushes on it, a palette, bottles and jars. The pleasant smell of linseed oil is in the room, and a rectangle of sunlight lies across the carpet. There are 3 chairs and a radiator, discreet floral wallpaper, audible across the passage. Louis drops something metal in the kitchen. A colander? The time is about 3:30. Bonnard is in the room, though the room remains empty. He has been standing behind the door. He does not want to talk. Clearly does not wish his work to be interrupted. Now you have the great good fortune to observe him, as you might observe a shy animal. He is taller than you expect, fairly tall and thin. There is space enough for him to stand, stooping, between the table and the wall, and that is where you see him mix colors and walk, unsteadily, across the room with a loaded brush. This, he would no doubt say if he wanted to talk, is what I do. It is all I know how to do, and have always done. Not so much a habit as an impulse, you understand. And my only need. He lifts the brush, deciding where to place the color and in which painting, because now you are privileged to see the slight secret of how Bonnard's last 4 pictures are done. He has put 4 rectangles of unstretched canvas on the dining room wall, tacked up using drawing pins in the flocked wallpaper. Each of the 4 paintings is a different size and already quite well advanced. A view across the rooftops of La Canée, a dining table picture, a still life with a basket of fruit, and a small picture of an almond tree in blossom. On those rare occasions when he talks about painting, he is known to use the beautiful word nourrissant. I think nourishment. Each picture is established, unconstrained by a stretcher. And what he will do now over a period of weeks is to nourish them with color. He shuffles back to the table and assiduously fishes out a brush tip of cerulean blue and works it into some citron and some rose and eau de Nil, testing the values and timbers on a corner of the open palette as he goes like a chef tasting sauce ravigote. It is no pleasure feeling old and ill. When he was young, the pictures were witty and surprising, oddly Japanese, liable to pitch an off-kilter view, infested with cab horses and pet animals in the asymmetrical areas of open space that had first given Lautrec the idea to try posters. In those days, it was Paris and the Ile-de-France, its gravel gardens and parasols, and the willows on the point of Ile de la Cité that had got into his decorative panels. And sometimes when the apartment shutters were closed, the rooms contained only wallpaper. Siesta wallpaper, like fungal pond life, in which you could barely see to thread a needle, and a figure wearing the same dots in a print dress was invisible. But for the last 20 years, since he came to La Bosquet, the far brighter light of the midi and the lavender and mauve of his evening view of the Esterelles have ripened his palate like a peach left on a windowsill. There was even more brightness in the paintings than in the garden, more even than where a sail waits for no breeze at all off Cap d'Antibes. He recrosses the room. There is to be a large retrospective of his work in New York in September next year. He does not care. For out of this apparently timid, apparently undernourished man comes, touch by touch, mix by mix, dab by dab, the most ravishing apotheosis of indescribably beautiful late color. Bonnard. All right. It's really hot outside, but it's also cloudy, like it's gonna rain. It's all strange. Hope you're all well and making stuff. Okie dokie. Take care.